Still got my... There we go. Not out of there. Well, sort of out of there. Myself an extra armrest tonight. It's working. R8RBEAR! Open the windows, wake the neighbors. To hell with them. They're probably Dallas fans anyway, which means they have it coming. They deserve it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you all tuning in for these shenanigans about this team that we all love. And we have some stuff to discuss. But hold on tight. Woo! Often imitated, never duplicated. That fool with no hair that shouts like Ric Flair. Ow. The Raider Bear! Hooray! No, that's enough of that stuff. Alexa, hush! Tradish! Raider Bear Live, first comment, woo! MVP tonight goes to the middleweight champion of the world is getting pissed off. People kept stepping on his middleweight title, bumping him down to the bronze, bumping him, left and right, sometimes even out of the medal round, which is ridiculous. Well, not tonight. The middleweight champion tonight, gold medalist. That Moji making son of a gun. I'm just going big because, he doesn't win golds. So this might be the first one for like a long time. Mark Vargas! Good job, Mark. Good job usurping the heavyweight champion tonight. Second, silver, Jim Vanderlyn! Now, Jim, go sit down. You didn't win your gold. I'm mad at you. Don't ask me later if I'm serious. I'm kidding. Third place, my bronze medal goes to Ramiro! Woo! Cashflow Castro! Tell your brother just to give up the email. It's stupid that he has it. No one actually calls him that, while everyone calls you that. Oh, it's true. And I consist of everyone. It's just evidence, I'm saying. So, let's move on forward to Facebook. What's up, my Facebook family? Honorable mention one more time on YouTube to S.A. Big Dog. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. I love how he calls me Osito. I like that. Osito. All right. First place, numero uno, El Jefe tonight on Facebook. Look at what's happening tonight. Our young lady of the house winning the gold medal tonight, Corinna! Woo! Trujillo! Corinna, I love it when a Raiderette slides into the sausage fest that is my medal round. It's called that, because it's got so many dudes in it. Well, Corinna putting foots in the medal round tonight. I love it. Okay, that over here, that over here, that over there. Okay, we're good. Carlos, look at you. Second place, silver medal, Carlos Magana Jr. What's up, man? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you tuning in. Always there for Raider Bear. Third place, my good friend, and always there for Raider Bear, watching my show every single night, Troy Gill. What's up, G? Welcome to the show. Always there for Raider Bear. Troy Gill Good to see you, man. Honorable mention to Travis Kelly. And what's up, everyone? Jim Garrison, I see you there. What's up, man? Welcome to the show. Rodney Fuller, catching me on YouTube. Appreciate that. Anthony Zirkle, I see you. What's up, man? Welcome to the show. Yes, Armando Medrano says, what's up, man? We got to beat these chokers. Well, you know, Armando, remember the last time we played them, we put 63 on them. I had to get that out of the way. I'm sorry. I knew I wasn't going to be able to hold it in and not laugh, so now I can talk about it. Okay. Okay. The last time we played them, we put 60. Woo! Look. If your score starts with 60, anything, that's a beat down Travis Shamockery whooping, just jackwagoned him. Just took him back behind the woodshed. All right, so remember now, they're going to remember that. It's going to, be a motivator. And so they're going to come on in. You guys, you know their guy, Joey Bosa, that plays for the Chargers, the guy who's their, who's supposed to be their nasty, enforcer, defensive tackle, at least, when he plays, or defensive end, excuse me. Did you know that in 33 snaps against Colton Miller, he has 0 sacks? 0. 30-plus snaps. And hurries? 1. 30-plus snaps. So it's no surprise that you'll be seeing him lining up on the other side against Thayer Munford, because he's got no shot if he wants to come at Colton Miller with that nonsense that he tries to pull. I'm strong, so I will push and throw everyone. And he can do that with some guys, but not Colton Miller. Colton Miller ran him off his position. You chump. Joey Noza. He knows this and he knows of that. Steven Shaw, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Guys, consider a subscription to R8RBEAR Family Pays. It's just $5 a month. You could cancel at any time, and you won't want to, because we do a lot of fun things. Like today, we did one of our supporter-only shows, and we'll be doing supporter-only shows all next week, Monday through Friday, supporters-only shows. We have a lot of fun. We talk about other things. I give you a little bit more insight, just because I like to do that. And, it's my supporters. They're paying the show to go out and reach out and change the world. And we're doing that because we work with charities like the Kind Fund, Kids in Need of Desks. We also work with Punks for Autism, which they sell unique, one-of-a-kind shirts that when you buy them, you won't see them anywhere else. And the money and the proceeds to your shirt goes directly to finding a cure to autism and research. But if you ever tried to tell me you were going to cure my daughter, I would defend her right to stay exactly who she is, because I love autism. I think it's dope. I have a few family members that have it, and some of them have it real bad, and others have it, kind of light, and I don't care whichever level it is. I like to work with them. I've been doing it for a long time, inadvertently. Okay, Anthony J. Zirkle, let's get right to football. The update on Malcolm Kuntz is he's not playing. He's going to be out. Now, the way they announced it and the way they were talking, it sounded like it could be serious. Now, I don't mean like end of the season serious, but he may miss more than a game. But he ain't playing this next game. The Raiders were very serious when they basically, very adamant to come out and say, no, there's no chance he plays. So we're going to see Janarius Robinson. Now, Janarius Robinson has kind of an interesting history. He was drafted in 2021 by the Minnesota Vikings originally. He then kind of banged around with them for a minute, then went over to the Eagles. The Eagles released him, and now he's a Raider. So he's banged around a little bit. Now, the reason why he did that was because he was injured at both places. So with the Vikings, he couldn't get a foothold, and with the Eagles, he couldn't get a foothold. In other words, both teams seemed to get frustrated with the fact that they kept getting him and getting him not quite right. And I guess he came into the draft that way. So, some guys can get a bad reputation for something like that, and then suddenly they can't get a job at all, even though they'd probably be able to play once they get better. You know what I mean? Let's remember, not to change sports on you here, but Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors had terrible ankle injuries to begin the first 2 or 3 years of his career. And there were a lot of people that thought he was a wasted pick. He was too small. He was going to be injury prone and too small. He'd be out of the league inside of the next 3 or 4 years. There were experts that thought that. And now the guy's, one of the greatest that's ever played. Ever. Just one of the greatest ever. Not talking about just he's a shooter or he's best guard. No. It's one of the best basketball players ever. So you never know what you're going to get. I would like to see Malcolm Kuntz get his time, but I don't think Janarius Robinson is going to be able to take his job. While he was playing at Florida State, he played at Florida State for 4 years. In that time, he got 8 sacks. That's 2 sacks a season. Okay, so even if they weren't utilizing him as a guy that rushes the quarterback, you should accidentally get more than 2 a year. You know what I mean? If you're an athlete, a linebacker, you're going to run through the gap sometimes and go after the quarterback, and you come up with 2 sacks a season. So I'm not saying that's necessarily bad. They may have been very strict at Florida State as far as how they wanted him to play. Maybe they never wanted to send him up the middle. Maybe he was always playing more of a zone, react, and read linebacker position, so that would be conducive to creating lower numbers but higher tackles. He actually averaged 20.5 tackles or something like that per game, and that's pretty high. So, Michael Purifoy, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Let's see. Hey, Bear, defensive coordinators being allowed to call timeouts. Guy playing with 8 felonies against him, and the refs calling multiple illegal procedures to benefit the home team. Is the NFL just going to give the Chiefs a 3rd straight Super Bowl? The easiest way to answer that, Travis Kelly, would be to say yes. Because now let me make this argument to you. Now that they've won 2 in a row, and they've established that they could win a 3rd. Obviously, if you win 2 in a row, you could win a 3rd. So, if they win 2 in a row, they said they want to win a 3rd. Now the NFL marketing department hears that and goes, oh, okay, wait a minute now. We've got a once-in-a-lifetimer. This is just like that Dolphins team that had a perfect season, and all their players now are dead or dinosaurs. And or mummies. And, no one cares, but at the same time, it's one of the most talked about records in all of the NFL. Now, that's what would happen if they win 3 in a row. If they win 3 in a row, it'll get talked about as much or more than anything in NFL history. Because you just don't have teams doing that. And you can go back to the way back teams. Usually the way back teams, you'll find things that they did that were, going, oh my God, nowadays they actually did back then. And we just think it's a big deal because we didn't see the stuff back then. So we think right now, oh, it's all the best. In reality, you can find a lot of things that they did back then that they're doing now. But not a three-peat. Not a three-peat. It's a one-off stat. They'd be the only one that's ever done it. Or even come close, really. So, it sucks. That's why I'm pausing. Sorry. Yeah. What's up, Crazy Squirrel? Welcome to the show. Appreciate the love on the supporters show earlier. Hi, Mr. Bear. What's up, Tommy? This is Val, and Tommy is glued to the TV watching the Eagles, and Dad hasn't gotten here from D.C. yet. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure he must have had a hell of a day today because it's Friday. Raider DeVillion, Corinna was like 4th. Mark was the 1st. No, Raider DeVillion. That's how it just shows on your screen, not mine. Steven Shaw! 1, 2, 3, 4. Corinna! So, hello! Thank you, love. And welcome again one more time. Anna Diaz Rincon, welcome, girl. What's happening with the Raiders and the new news about them, Troy Gill? Well, let me get back to what I was saying. So Janarius Robinson, 6'5", 260 pounds. He's still only 26 years old. So even though he's on his third team, he's still only 26. And I would argue that you don't really start your prime in the NFL until 26, 28, somewhere in there. That's when you're literally your best. If you get into the NFL at 22, 24, usually you hit that body, you get your man body, you get your man strength, you have weight rooms that encourage that, and then they go out there and suddenly they're just more than what they've been before. I think there's a chance that could happen with Janarius because he's got the build. Again, 6'5", 260 pounds, and he's only 26. And he has to see this as an opportunity because there was no way he was going to see the field if Malcolm was cool. If Malcolm Kuntz had not been injured, there's no way he sees the field. Maybe for a snap here and there to help him, and for special teams, help him, meaning to give Kuntz a breather every once in a while, and then other than that, it would just been special teams. Raider Devilian, you're kind of making my point. We dog walked that, yes, we did, and so they're gonna want some, you know what I mean? And the stat I gave you, Joey Bosa being terrible against Colton Miller, doesn't matter because he's gonna be over there effing with Thayer Mumford. And I don't know. I'm not sure. And I'll be the first to admit, you guys hear me. Most of you who watch my show a lot, there are certain players that I will repeat their names a lot because I'm saying that's a Raider Bear guy. That's a guy I either saw before they were even a Raider, or if once we signed him, the second we signed him, I knew, okay, that guy's going to be a guy. I've been saying that about Thayer Mumford for 2-3 years now. Okay, so now this is it though. This now. There is no more time. There's no next year. He doesn't get a little bit more growth. It's now. And I'm anxious to see how Thayer Mumford stands up to the pressure because it's his job now. If he wants to be the hot first starter right corner, right tackle, he can be it. But he's got to go out there and keep it, not take it, because they're kind of already offering it to him. But he's got to shut Joey Bosa down. He's got to. And I'll be honest with you, Thayer Mumford is better against the TJ Watts of the world, who try to use speed, who try to use spin moves and finesse, real quick steps and then fake you out with some movement. The TJ Watts of the world, Thayer Mumford eats those up. He'll eat TJ Watt up. Just remember I said that. No offense, Raider Val. I'm not talking about your Steeler. But he will eat him up. So if that's the case, okay, we'll see. That's a bet. Will Thayer Mumford box the ears of TJ Watt? We will see. Okay. Yes, Travis Kelce, Kuntz is out. Sorry, I can't tell how far behind I am on the questions. Let me see. Jim Garrison, Big Noza Boza is always injured. He don't want none of us. We got to put another 63 on these bums. Honestly, well, that crazy squirrel. Appreciate the love and the stars, brother. Now, back to your statement, Jim. I think we will beat the brakes off them. I kind of do, but I'm not feeling the whole 37-point kind of thing. It's not going to be that. I think we're going to D them up. I think they're going to start super slow, with a field goal here, a field goal there. Then they'll try something desperate like a fake punt or a fleet flicker or something crazy like that. And then depending on whether that works or not, they'll probably get their first touchdown, and it'll be something like 13 points they'll have going into half. And hopefully we'll have at least 3 touchdowns. 2 on the ground, 1 through the air. If it looks like that by halftime, I see us winning the game. Steven Shaw! Appreciate the love on the stars. Anthony J. Zirkle. Whoops, let me get that. There we go. I wouldn't change my daughter for any amount of money in the world. She's level 3 nonverbal autistic and has absolutely shown me the true meaning of love. And she's absolutely perfect, just like her father. That a boy, Anthony. I like that. I heard rumors that us and the Giants had interest in Mac Jones. Any validity to that? Yes. And why does Hunter Renfrow why doesn't Hunter Renfrow have a team yet? Did McDum break him? He doesn't have a team yet because he was kind of a fringe player. In other words, he's a guy that a general manager says in a draft he's going to take him with the 6th round pick because he thinks that he might have something, a project. Somebody saw and said, we might be able to work something with that. He's got good footwork. He got that jitter quick video game kind of feet. Let's see what we can do with that guy. And there's a lot of NFL teams that already have that guy on their roster because there's a lot of Hunter Renfrow types. They just don't always produce the way Hunter Renfrow did because Hunter Renfrow produced. He just got hurt. You know what I mean? When he was healthy, he was nice. Okay, I missed what you said. What's wrong with Malcolm Kuntz? Wasn't it his foot? I think it was. 1 second. I have the injury report actually up because I was reading it earlier. I was going to kind of cover it for a minute just because I figured most of you would want to at least get an idea of where we are on that. So let's see. Okay, I'll just run over it real quick. Okay, so the players that are not playing, Dekamarion Richardson, that's our young cornerback. He has a hamstring issue. He was limited Wednesday and Thursday. He did not practice Friday, so he cannot play. He is out. Also, Malcolm Kuntz, his knee. Sorry, I started to say his foot. His knee is an issue. Now, to be honest with you, he was out on Wednesday. So the Malcolm Kuntz, if you look at what they put in his injury report, it makes me concerned. For example, he's the only guy other than Jackson Powers Johnson who couldn't go because he was throwing up on the floor. He was just sick. He wasn't so hurt he couldn't have practiced. He just has like the flu or COVID or something. Malcolm Kuntz misses practice Wednesday, then only gets limited on Thursday, then doesn't practice at all on Friday. That sounds like regression. In other words, he couldn't even get out there on Wednesday, then just a little limited on Thursday, and then he's like, I can't go, and gets nothing on Friday and is out. See, that sounds bad. Now take all that bad I just tried to draw in your mind, and remember, it's a knee. I mean, I'm a little concerned, not because he's a stud and a star, but we were kind of depending on the fact that he kind of blossomed last year. Gave us 8 sacks, in just a handful of games. So I was kind of hoping he was going to be ready this year. It looks like, well, we absolutely know he's not going to make it. Okay, all 3 days of practice, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Limited practice for Tommy Eichenberg, also knee. Not cool, especially when you consider they were making him rest, trying to get his knee right. Same thing with Brock Bowers' foot. He had limited practice Wednesday and Thursday. But if you read the articles and you've been keeping up with what's being written at Raiders.com, their official website, they talked about the fact that Antonio Pierce was like smiling ear to ear and was saying, I feel like he's my son. And I'm saying, just go sit on the couch, son. You have to give it a little bit more time. He said that Brock Bowers wanted to practice so bad, and he kept saying to him, I know you feel fine. Relax. You know what I mean? Let's go into the year with you really 100%. You're 100% now. If I give you 3 more or 4 more days, what difference does it make? So, okay, so Brock Bowers in for sure. Sorry about that. Jacob Bobenmoyer, I always mess up his name. Abdominal issue, but he got full practice. He will be out there. Colton Miller will also be out there. Shoulder, it's been a long time lingering thing, but apparently he's going to be ready to go. He made full practice all week. Robert Spillane, full practice all week, even though it was a back issue, but he's ready to go. Tyree Wilson, same foot issue, but full practice Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Looks 100%. So I'm kind of excited because I want to say this statement. I think you guys will get excited about this. Tyree Wilson will be Tyree Wilson we've been waiting to see for the very first time this year. Now, why can I say that and be sure that I'm correct? Because he came back to football and the Raiders in the middle of the process of rehabbing his foot. So while he was in the process of making himself 100%, he was out there trying to play on a foot that wasn't 100%. And we all know when it's a foot and it's a big man, When you lose your feet, that's it. There is no surgeries. There is no, you'll get it back, bone graft and stuff like that. No. Any big guy, whether it's basketball, football, any big guy, if they start having problems below the knee, it doesn't even have to be the foot. It could be the tibia. It breaks, like the Colin McGregor break. Oh, no, you can't. NFL players can't survive that. That's why it was impressive that Derek Carr's gotten, in a way. He broke one of his bones below the knee, and I thought, he might be done. And so far he's been done, but more or less because of his talent regressing, not from a broken bone. So we're really going to get to see for the very first time the true 100%, no injuries, ready to go, no more excuses, Tyree Wilson. Frankenstein, crush. Jackson Powers Johnson is out, illness. He was sick. He didn't get any sort of practice. I don't even think he was out at the facility. He was probably at home laying in bed. Okay, now for the Chargers, wide receiver DJ Chark, hip, he's out, and he's written as out. So there's not going to be any sudden surprise at game time. He's not questionable. He's out. Okay, Josh Palmer, wide receiver, he had a knee problem. He got full practice Thursday and Friday, but it shows Wednesday he didn't even go to practice. So that might have been a family thing, or maybe they were just giving him a little bit more time to get healthy. Who knows? We'll see. It could mean something, though. Usually, if you're at full practices, you get all three in. He did not. He only got in two. And again, that was Josh Palmer. Again, one of their wide receivers. And it's his knee, so that could, labor him a little bit. Maybe the fact that we lost DeCameron Richardson in the quarterback, backfield, maybe that'll help us a little bit. Asante Samuels Jr., cornerback shoulder, he's questionable. When I was reading an article, though, about Asante Samuels Jr., the cornerback for the Chargers, shoulder issue, limited at practice, it said questionable. He actually only made Fridays, and he only made limited practice on Friday. So Wednesday and Thursday, he couldn't even get out on the field. So if you ask me, there's no way that guy plays. There's no way that guy. But one, Asante Samuels Jr. is... he's a, how do you say this? He's a, seen as a guy who could really become a hell of a player. He's seen as someone who could come to fruition and be one hell of a star. So he's not going to want to, I would imagine even the owner and the coach wouldn't want him out there with no practice Wednesday, no practice Thursday, and limited on Friday. There's no way they put him on it. I think they even wrote him as questionable just to keep us on our toes, and we wouldn't know whether we'd face him or not. Okay, last but not least, Tarheeb Still, defensive back. He had limited practice Wednesday and Thursday, but got in a full on Friday. It was a hip. He should be fine. Okay, let's see. And that is that. That is everyone. There you go. How many wins for the Raiders in your opinion? Eric Peterson. What's up, EP? Welcome to the show. I appreciate you, brother. And let me say this. I originally went in at 11 games, and I went in at 11 games thinking it was going to be AOC. Now, knowing that it's going to be Gardner Minshew, I kind of want to click a game down off of that and yet still say we could win the wild card, because I think that our division's going to be a mess, and it's just going to be us and the Chiefs. I don't think that the Broncos are real yet. I don't think the Chargers are real, and I don't think with Jim Harbaugh they'll ever get to real. You know what I mean? So they're going to be bad for a while still. So we don't have to. We can kind of check off the Chargers for a while. They'll look from time to time like they're trying to get it right, and they'll look from time to time because they'll give us a game probably here and there. But I see no window of opportunity for this Chargers team right now. It's just a mess. They have guys that are too old in certain places. They have guys that are too expensive in other places. Their quarterback's regressing. Their head coach got in his head and ruined it. Their owner doesn't know if he wants to go full analytics or not. The Chargers are a hot dumpster fire, a hot one. And then the Broncos. Yeah, 25 a game. That's not high. It's astronomical. Yeah, well, no. I mean, the league is putting up 30 a night. You know what I mean? Jerome Coleman, what's up, man? Welcome to the show, my twin brother in the house. Aloha, Brother Bear and Mama Bear. Appreciate that, John Souza. Welcome to the show. Okay, where was I going? Okay, also now we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this Dak Prescott thing. Okay, I've been thinking about it. I took a few notes I have right here. I sat down. I talked to some friends that I know about it. And after really talking and consulting with other friends, looking at the analytics of it, researching, watching video, I came up with no. 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 Okay, what? What? No, it makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. Why would anyone, and I mean anyone, think that Dak Prescott sucking over here is suddenly going to not suck over here? It literally boggles my mind how fans see these things. Now, is it true sometimes? Sure. But not with quarterbacks. With quarterbacks that have more than 2, 3, or 4 years in the league, you know what they are. Does anyone expect Justin Fields to land on a team next month or next year and suddenly turn into a gunslinging passer with a high percentage? No. So why would Dick Prescott? Why would Dak Prospate? Why would Dak Prescott suddenly play better as a Raider? You got to be kidding me. I can just smell him, hear him, see him after he gets the contract from us. Woo! Retirement plan. He's not going to care if he wins for the Raiders, man. He don't got no love for the Raiders. He don't care if we win or not, man. He'd be collecting a check. And that's all he does in Dallas at this point. He bamboozled Jonesy and his boy. That's why I call him a boy, because he's a boy. You were making Juan coffee for work. You're such an awesome wife, Anna. Texas is playing Michigan tomorrow morning, Bear. Ooh, have to watch that. I want to see that quarterback, Mark Vargas. You know who I'm talking about. I like Quinn Ewers. I think he might be a Raider. Jesse Parker, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show by fashion designer in the house. After the show, I need to pack doing a staycation here in town. Nice. I actually like to do that every once in a while. Just get a hotel with the missus. What's his injury? How serious is it? Knee, and in my opinion, it's serious. Now, I'm reporting what I was told and what I read. They said this game, then they said next week he'll be on the field. Like, we'll reevaluate him. But their attitude was, we're pretty sure this is a tweak, something with some ice, a little rest. He's going to be ready to go 100% next week. Now, that was the impression I got about it. I don't know. You know how football teams are. Even with their own people, they'll sometimes say, oh, yeah, everything's fine. And they know the guy's not going to play. They just don't want the other team to know he's not going to play. You know what I'm saying? And I don't blame them doing that. I think there's a chance the knee could be serious with Kuntz, and we may see a little bit more of Janarius Robinson. Now, if this opens things up, because watch, the college numbers I gave you from Janarius Robinson aren't particularly impressive. I gave you the fact that he was drafted by the Vikings, he ended up on the Eagles, and now he's a Raider. So he hasn't had this illustrious start to his career. And the problems he's had that bounced him around all involved injuries. If he goes out there, Janarius Robinson, in my opinion, has a chance to cement himself as the right defensive end for the Las Vegas Raiders and become great. All he has in front of him is Malcolm Kuntz. And let's be honest, most of us were thinking Malcolm Kuntz was going to be a bust. His first couple of years with the Raiders, he wasn't even playing. And then when he did, he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't doing anything. Let's just be honest, okay? No big plays, no big hits, no sacks, zilch. We were all Raider fans this close to saying, Malcolm who? Let him go. We could use the cap space. And then suddenly, AP puts him on the field. He gives us 8 sacks in 6 games. That's good, man. That's good. Now, there's no way to know What if he gets out there and has that exact same reaction to the defensive calls and the trust in him from his coach? And maybe Malcolm Koonce is just one of those guys that needs 4 years to really blossom. I know this is going to sound weird to people who've been watching football for like the last 10, 15 years. But before that, when you gave a guy a 4-year deal, you expected him to not really contribute until he got to his 3rd year. You know what I mean? Don't forget, remember Aaron Rodgers came in behind Brett Favre, but he had to sit there for years while Brett Favre just kept slinging it. And no one cared, and they made him wait. You know what I mean? It cost them money, too, because they drafted him high, so they were paying him just sit there, so thank God they didn't lose him. But he only won him 1 ring, and then now he's the egotistical loser of the century. Ayahuasca, give me a break. Even if everything they say about ayahuasca is true, I still would respond with, so what? Why do I want to go to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory in my mind and literally I can see it, taste it, and touch it just to be freaked out on some drug chemical, you jackwagon. I can't stand that guy. Travis Kelce, Bosa's registered. Okay, I didn't know if they were going to say he was out, but if they're saying he's out, then they're gonna have problems because we're going to run this football. They're going to run this football. Jesse Parker. Cullen Baldridge, think we're going to smash the Ravens online if everybody is healthy. Let's go smoke the Chargers without Koonce. You know, Cullen Baldridge, I think it's going to happen, and I really want to see Amari Gaynor. I think if Malcolm Koonce, if Janarius Robinson does not bring his A game, if he does not look physical, if he is not hustling early in the game, I'm going to keep my eye out, and I'm recommending to all of you too, keep your eye out for Amari Gaynor. He's going to get opportunities. Now, he's on the smaller side at 240 pounds, 6'3". He's tall enough, but 6'3", 240 pounds. And ladies what I'm talking about. They always elevate the numbers. So whatever the guy actually weighs, it's probably a little bit less than 240. Probably more like 235, 230. But I don't care. He's a physical specimen. He's fast. Now, a lot of offensive linemen will be able to just block him with one hand, but every once in a while, he's going to hit him with that speed, give him a bend, and he'll be able to do things that Tyree Wilson can't do. Janarius Robinson hasn't shown that he can do. So, I would not mind with Malcolm Koonce out. I want an audition at right tackle. At right defensive end. I want an audition at that position. I say you give a certain guy 5 or 6 snaps, then give another guy 5 or 6 snaps and see what they do. Steeler Val, I'm sorry. I slipped up and called you Raider Val. That's not a slip. It's never a slip, okay? Just remember that. It's never a slip. 28-17 victory for the Raiders over the Chokers. Jesse, I feel like this could be the game where Gardner Minshew makes everybody fall in love with him. I think this could be the one. Because Gardner Minshew's the kind of guy, he will put the ball deep. He will. Now, he's not, the bomber or anything, mad bomber, but he will go for it. When he sees it's there, if it's a part of a play, he doesn't look away from it. In other words, there are a lot of times where you have a quarterback that goes into play action, okay? And let's say the play has 4 to 5 receivers moving out into the pattern. He will take that fake play action, then turn and go to his 1 that's safe or his 2 that's safe, like the 1 running a slant or the 2 being the tight end running a flat toward the sideline. Both passes, high probability I'm going to get a completion because it's the shortest distance. It's the highest likelihood of getting completion and letting a guy just catch the ball, turn, and get some work in. As opposed to waiting for my number 1 to get his wiggle on, come across the field, run across post, keep getting deep, and now throw the ball over him. I got to depend on my line with Joey Noza and Khalil Mack. Now with Noza out and it just being Mack, Huge advantage, because we all know it's been scouted for the last decade. If you just double and chip Khalil Mack, he's totally ineffective. He's totally ineffective. And that's no shot at Khalil Mack. I mean, if you pick any defensive end in the league and you plan a defensive double team attack that constantly shifts, motion a wide receiver over, the wide receiver pushes Khalil Mack at the snap of the ball as hard as he can. Khalil Mack stumbles back for a few seconds. Then the offensive lineman can run up on him and get his hands on him and hold him there, and now he's useless. Okay, then you can motion over the fullback or the running back, and then they can go over and shove Khalil Mack on the shoulder, slow him down for a second. Then the offensive lineman engages him, etc., etc. So if you don't have Bosa, and you can do that to Mack all night, I mean, I feel bad. I almost, no, I take that back. I mean, if they really don't have Bosa and we do that to Mack, it's going to be a long day for them. A long day. Because remember, if we get out there and we get out in front with the running game and a few points, if we do that, Luke Getsy's going to want to see Gardner. You know, what better time than game one? Let's do it right now. Break the seal on those deep plays. Let him show that he can complete them. Let the guys show that they can catch him. You know, let's go get it. You know what I mean? I love it. I love the attitude of it. And I don't know if Aiden O'Connell would have done that. I don't know if he would have been able to absorb that call and say, okay, I'm going to let it fly. You know what I mean? I think he's a little bit more careful right now. But not necessarily in a good way. If the Chargers have 13 points at the half, I'm going to be pissed. That's what they need to have by the end of the game. Well, Raider Devillian, although I've completely bought in on the Raiders' defense, we also have to accept that there are still some spots on the defense that we would have liked to have had a little bit more depth on. That means sometimes when our starters come out and we put in these backups, there's going to be times when we're susceptible to big plays. You know what I mean? And so I'm just being realistic. You know what I mean? I don't want to see that, but at the same time, I think that our defense will play well, but I think the defense that we saw play incredible football last year played it that well at the second half of the season, toward the end, on the boost of energy of firing a coach, getting AP, and being set free a little bit more on defensive plays and you know, the amount of times they'd blitz and stunt and so on. It all went up when they fired McDaniel. So you had a really happy team, you know, with, you know, Vegas money, literally, you know, just out there letting their hair fly around to see who could do what, you know. And so this is a new season. You know, at the beginning, everyone's responsible. And so I just hope everyone's going to play as hard as we saw them play last year. Okay, hey, Bear, what do you think how Brock Bowers is going to do in his first game? Jason Morales, that's a great profile picture. Welcome to the show. And I would say this to you. I think Brock Bowers could end up being the best weapon we have on the team. And that's including Devontae Adams, only because I don't know if Devontae Adams is going to be as effective as Brock could be with Gardner Minshew. Brock's going to be running a little bit more intermittent routes. He's going to be running a little bit more safety routes. So I could see him getting the ball more. But the difference being, even though he's a tight end, he can make big plays with his legs. He's very shifty for a kind of a bigger guy, a taller kind of, you know. It's hard to explain what his body type is because he's not a bodybuilder. He's a very loose. I like it. He looks like a wrestler, but like a Greco-Roman Olympic wrestler. Not a wrestler like in pro wrestling where everybody's trying to look, you know, gorgeous with their huge biceps and body. But more like real, actual Olympic wrestling where guys, you know, are strong, but they don't sculpt because they still have to be flexible. That's Brock Bowers to a T. He's an athlete. He's conditioned. He's smart. He's committed. And I'll be honest with you, he wants to be great. He wants to be great. He's one of those rare players that right now is saying, I'm thinking about, I want to be the best tight end in football. I'm going for everybody saying that guy is the best tight end in football. And I think he's going to do. I think he can do it because he's going to have so many opportunities on so many different plays to come out from the running back position, to come out from the tight end position, to line up as a wide receiver, etc., etc. He's going to be able to do it 100 times. Looks like the Chiefs have a great defense and look to be three-peat. I hate the Chiefs. Bill Cox, although their defense played well, I thought that there were a lot of plays that actually also exposed the Chiefs' defense. The underbelly of it. They tend to have a really soft middle of the field because they don't have tremendously fast safeties or corners, so they have to really back them up. So any team that runs any sort of double deep set where you send a number one wide receiver or two and a third, whichever, but two of them from either side of the field, they run crossing or deep stop and go. Anything that's meant to be hey, I'm going to beat you with my speed, they have to take the top off their defense and play it super, super deep because they don't have the foot speed to stay with most of the NFL wide receivers in the league. They're running these 4.2s and 4.37s. When you run that fast in the 40, it's just hard for guys to stay with you, and especially safeties. So what happens is they take the top off so high that the middle of the field is just wide open. It's just wide open, and you're going to have Michael Mayer at one level and Brock Bauer at another on every given play. They're going to switch sides, and sometimes the low man will be Bowers, and other times the low man will be Mayer, and it's going to be beautiful. I think we as Raider Nation are going to applaud AP when we finally get to see it. I'm ready to say it now. It's Friday's show. We're right here. 2 days, the season starts. Saturday, Sunday, we're here. I want to say this out loud. Antonio Pierce, as a Giants football player, was mentally influenced as a player when he was in his prime and played against Tom Brady and the two tight end set attack that they used. I think that AP is determined to take that model of what they did, not make the Patriots. That's not what he's doing. That was what Josh McDaniels was doing. What AP is doing is saying, no, the model that they used, that teams used before them and have used since. So it doesn't belong to the Patriots. But that was the experience that AP had, was seeing it with the Patriots. And when he saw it, and he saw, Gronk and Aaron Hernandez just catching everything, switching sides, I'll go deep, you go short, I'll go deep. And it was unstoppable. And then they would sneak in these run plays with running backs that were nobodies, that nobody remembers. They never put up big numbers. They were never legendary running backs. But they did stuff for the Patriots because they were so free to move around because other teams' defenses were so terrified of that two tight end set. And now we have it. Now we have it. And in the preseason, everything you saw was a ruse. Everything. Even the plays that worked. Those were things we were just trying. We showed nobody anything. You're going to see so many plays on Sunday that you don't recognize. It's going to blow your mind. Luke Getsy literally had 10 plays in every set, and those 10 plays were all like dummy plays. Just fake high school run, draw it up real quick and send him out there kind of stuff. He didn't show them anything. They made a point of bragging about it, that Luke Getsy and AP were they were impressed that they were able to get their guys through the preseason, for the most part, unscathed, not too many injuries. Especially not to major pieces. And now you're starting the season relatively healthy. You don't have Jackson Powers Johnson out there, but he's sick. He's not hurt. He's sick. And a couple other guys. But I think this is going to be a great start to the season. But I think people are going to be really shocked when they see what Gardner Minshew is going to be able to do with this offense. Because the offensive line is better than people think. And one of the things that improved the most and had the least said about it is the offensive line. We have a real competition now going on at right tackle and right guard, left tackle and left guard are solid. And so we have depth now. We have guys in places that fit. They can move their feet if they have to come in and out and switch. That kid we brought in, DJ Glaze from Maryland, oh my God. The scouts are going nuts about him, that he could just take the right tackle job if Thayer Mumford doesn't play great. If Thayer Mumford doesn't play great, they're ready to give the job to DJ Glaze. He's played that good in camp, the kid from Maryland. And I knew he'd be good, but I'm admitting this one I'm not taking credit for. I take credit for Dylan Laube. I take credit for AOC. I take credit for some of these other guys that I picked, and they ended up being Raiders and ended up being good. But on this one, I do not, because I didn't really. I knew he'd be a good player, but not this good. I didn't know he'd be that good. Could the Raiders potentially look at Yannick Ngakoue as a free agent prospect that has familiarity with the team if Kuntz's injury is severe? Anthony J. Zirkle, I would answer your question this way. How long now have we been talking about Yannick Ngakoue, right? Probably a month at least. If the Raiders wanted him, he'd be a Raider. I don't think he's going to be a Raider. Now, I'm not against that. I like Yannick Ngakoue. I think he would have been a great addition. Yannick Ngakoue is one of those guys that he's a walking 9-sack season. Anywhere he goes, he's going to get 7 to 9 sacks, like that. He's just, if you go back and you look at his season, go back and do his Wikipedia thing. If you go back and you look at the seasons that he's had, he always, there was a point I think it was 4 or 5 years in a row he had 9 sacks or more every single season. So that's what you're buying. You bring him in, you're buying 9 sacks. So. Do I want him? Hell yeah. But do I think it's gonna happen? Absolutely not. Because if you needed a guy at that position, which we do, and you don't pull the trigger, which we haven't, it's because we don't want to give him big money, and he knows he can get big money somewhere else. Miguel, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. 559 Fresno in the house. Bowers was like that in college. That's why he insisted on the tightrope ankle surgery to come back faster. Dude eats, sleeps, and breathes ball. Go on YouTube and look at his recruitment videos from Napa Valley during COVID. We literally got a Swiss Army dog for a player. Yeah, no one knows how good this guy is. No one's realizing it yet. I don't even know if I realize it yet. I just know that whatever we've seen of him so far is nothing. It's nothing compared to what we might see. And there have been favorable comparisons of Brock Bowers to Rob Gronkowski. And that's big. Rob Gronkowski is a Hall of Famer. Okay, he's one of the best to ever do it. When he gets compared to that guy by experts, you don't throw around names like that when you're an expert and you've been around the game a while. And you compare him to Gronkowski. And we can all talk about how goofy the guy was, but he could play. You know what I mean? So if we have a Brock that's anywhere near that good, right on. Raider Devillian, Asante Samuels does not want to see Raider Devillian. All right, or Antonio. Well, look at me. Devontae Adams. Sorry. Miguel Garcia says 10-7. Great profile picture, brother. Tony Make It Dip, no one wants Dak, and honestly, I don't either. I don't understand it. He had one great season for Dallas as a rookie. How many times have I come on this show and said, look, you cannot go by their rookie year. None of the teams have tape on him. You know what I mean? And so they're able to throw the ball all over the field because the defense doesn't know where the kid wants to go. And then as soon as you have tape on how the guy moves, how he plays, does he have any tells, like poker tells, movements that give away his thought process? Yes. And then you can see it, and then there's a problem. And he had all kinds of problems. He's done nothing but regress. And don't get me wrong, there was the last 2 seasons, I forget which one it was. He was either last season or the season before that, he had more touchdowns than any other quarterback. Yeah, he also led interceptions too. Jim Plunkett, with all respect, was completely ass until he was a Raider. Some considered Gannon ass too. Raider Devillian, I completely agree with both those statements. I don't want Dak, but Rich Gannon is the argument, hoping Minshew gets some of the Gannon. Okay. Well, I think there's a chance, Jerome Coleman, that can happen. Gardner Minshew has shown that he is a good football player. That's not in doubt. So while we're all talking about this, we have to remember that we have to get to at least that base level. The guy can play quarterback. He is an NFL quarterback. There is no doubt about that. What is really in question about Gardner Minshew is only one thing. Can he evolve past being perceived as a number 2 and have a winning season with a high completion percentage, touchdowns up, interceptions down, and finish with a winning season, maybe get to the playoffs. If he does that, he's a starter. They'll never look at him again like he's a backup. The following year, next year, 2024, 2025, he'll be looked at as a real a starter and a baller. But he's got to go out there and do it, because right now he's looked at as a journeyman too, that the Raiders are just looking at for a dress rehearsal because we couldn't get the quarterback of the future, because in this last draft, all of them were taken in the first few picks. So now my personal prediction is that the Raiders are going to learn from that mistake. They're going to see what they have to do. They're going to really amass picks, and they're going to go up and get Quinn Ewers from Texas. Gil Moody, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. It's good you got here now because I was trashing your team earlier. Glenn Medina said, that quarterback from Texas is not all that, Bear. Glenn, I don't want to go as far as saying he's all that. I want to go as far as saying there's positives about him and there's negatives about him. But I feel like his negatives will go down when he becomes a pro, gets pro coaching, and is on a professional team. I think then he will come out of that kind of dress rehearsal, I'm a backup, I don't know if I'm a good enough player, blah, 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 nonsense, and evolve into someone that thinks like Aaron Rodgers. I'm a starter, and you're glad to have me. I think that Quinn Ewers will be that guy. And I'm not basing that on evidence, because I know what you're talking about. He has had some stinker games at the college level. But I'm not going based on solely on tape. I'm going based on tape and the fact that I think the kid has something there that I think that will come to fruition at the next level. No, you wrote Bear 3 times, Gil Moody, because you're implying that means you're three-peat, Chiefs, champion, Bear. See, don't think that wasn't nice of you. I'm not falling for that, okay? Go to bed. Don't you have work tomorrow? You better stop giving that Raider money away. You have a Raiders 401k going with me. Much love. Shut up, Gil Moody. Much love to you, brother, and good luck this year. The odds have gone way down. It was much higher a couple of weeks ago. Yes, Gil Moody, you're going to have people wanting to make new bets with you. I know they are. Say hi to Mama Bear. Steven! Shaw! Appreciate the love on the stars, brother. Michael Purefoy said, I thought we were going to make more moves in trades of free agency than we did. I wonder why we are sitting on all that money and not fortifying our roster depth. Well, there's going to be more guys that are going to fall to free agency, Michael Purefoy. There's going to be a shedding of some players. We've already seen some of it, not just the 53-man cut-down date. The 53-man cut-down date came. Then a week passed. Then we saw just about every NFL team in the league dropped 3 or 4 extra guys, some of them a lot more than that. And then they just depended on going out and looking at other guys that they had scouted and bringing them in to fill those slots. So there's a lot of teams that are kind of going through having a hard time to find depth. Because it sounds crazy to say this, because the pool of talent for the NFL that's being filled by all these players all throughout the country and all the new additional colleges and so on, plus the semi-pros and so on and so forth, they're still not bringing great talent. It shows you that even though the pool of talent has grown much greater, we're still seeing, the same sort of, there's a lot of guys, but not a lot of guys that are really going to, that are going to be reliable stars, that are durable, that don't get hurt, that aren't going to leave, that kind of thing. The Ravens going to be playing pissed next week against us. Travis Kelce, bring it on. I've always said this. I've always been a proponent of hard seasons. I do not like easy seasons. I want as many games against great teams as possible. So when you get to the playoffs, if you get there, you are chiseled, you're ready to go. Uh-oh, Jordan Love's down. I didn't see him duplicating what he did last year. I just don't see it. I do not see it. Steven Shaw! Alexa! Mama Bear, Gil said hello. He sees you.
Hi, Gil.
Alexa, resume! All right, that's my show. Much love from Mama Bear and the Raider Bear. Please have a great, safe weekend. We will see you Monday. Supporters only at 4 all week next week. And at 8 o'clock for Raider Bear Live. Don't miss me. Gil Moody, your team sucks. Everyone have a great night.
Switch chairs with Mama Bear.
No, that's the...
No. You gotta say goodnight to everyone. Oh my goodness. I'm single and ready to mingle.
Hey!
Oops, I said that out loud.
All right, that's my show. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. Give them the heart, babe. For all you do, the energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice. Active and veteran.
Much love.
Much love. All right, that's it. Gil, stop staring at my woman. Stop it. No, everyone stop that. Now we're out of here.